We are back. Robinson Show with Stephanie Drake, actress in LA, correct?
Yeah.
Stephanie, how are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Are you staying safe?
Yes.
How is LA? I don't know. They've started to crack down a bit out here.
Yeah, I'd say we've been under quarantine for like 2 weeks now.
I was gonna say I feel like that's about the same out here. You are best known for playing Meredith on Mad Men, correct?
Yes.
And you're originally from Philly?
I was born in Philadelphia. Yeah, and then I moved around a bunch when I was growing up.
What places?
Oh, let's see. From Philadelphia, we moved to Baton Rouge, then Houston, then Augusta, Georgia, and then Baltimore, which is where I spent my high school years. And then I came out to LA for college, and I've been here ever since.
I was going to ask, what has been your favorite place that you've lived in?
I'd say, obviously I love Los Angeles. I don't think I'm going to live anywhere else. But growing up, I guess Baltimore.
Okay.
It was fine.
What do you miss the most about the East Coast?
New York City.
Cool.
I love New York, and I don't get to go that often. But I love New York City. I love Broadway.
Nice.
All of it.
And when did you start acting? Did you start before you went to LA or when you were already out there?
Yeah. I started, I've wanted to act since I was 7. My dad took me to New York to see my first Broadway show. And from there, I just fell in love with everything theater and everything acting. So I started, doing school plays and then local youth theater. And when we moved to Baltimore, I auditioned to go to a performing arts high school. And I was put 21st on the waiting list, which was, tough as a 13-year-old to hear. But then a week before classes started, I got a spot. So I went there, and that's like really where I learned the craft of acting.
Cool.
And then I came out to LA and went to USC for theater and, graduated and struggled and I'm still struggling, but it's all been good.
So what was your first Broadway show?
That I went to see?
Yeah.
It was the Phantom of the Opera.
Okay. I was thinking Cats.
A classic.
Very good. As far as struggling, what is the biggest struggle? Besides everything shut down at the moment, but up till now, what has been the biggest struggle of being an actress?
The biggest struggle is definitely obviously the unknown, the uncertainty of knowing when your next job is going to be. It could be a week, it could be months, it could be years. That's definitely tough. And the hardest part is how to handle that downtime and how to stay upbeat and positive and want to keep going and not quit and do something else.
Yeah. Wow.
So are there just long stretches of time where you're just auditioning and auditioning and auditioning?
Yep.
Or getting a part that goes nowhere. I feel like that's probably something that happens.
Yeah, I'm sure that happens too. I have lots of friends who have booked pilots and the pilot doesn't get picked up and then you're kind of back at square one. It happens in so many ways.
What would you be doing if you weren't acting?
I think I'd be a teacher. That was like what I said, I'll either be an actor or a teacher, but I don't know what I would teach. I guess I could teach acting.
Yeah.
But I always thought I'd be maybe like a good kindergarten teacher with my high voice and all.
I saw too. I loved your tweet about seeing the Invisible Man. And I wanted to ask what you'd do if you were invisible for a day.
It would definitely be food related. I love to eat, so I would probably just go to all of my favorite restaurants in Los Angeles and go to town.
Just grabbing off of other people's plates, or or going like in the
Either,
kitchen.
I mean, grabbing off other people's plates would be fun because then I would scare people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great.
Love it. Love it. And what advice would you give to somebody just starting out in acting?
Ooh, just starting out, I would say get into a really good acting class where you love the teacher, you love the other kids in your class, because those are the people that you're going to be friends with for your career. And those are the people that you're going to start collaborating with when it comes to creating your own stuff.
I wanted to ask too, what is the craziest thing either on or off screen that you've seen, either filming a show or a film?
The craziest thing? Gosh, I haven't seen that much crazy stuff. Nothing comes to mind. The one thing that happened to me when I was working on After Meredith, the short film that I wrote and produced, we shot it in 3 days, and on the third day, I completely lost my voice.
Oh, how did you continue at that point?
I just screeched my way through my lines. If you've seen it, there are definitely scenes when you can tell that I have no voice. My voice all of a sudden is like up here in one scene, and then it's down here and all scratchy in another.
That's got to be so tough though when that's what you rely on. That's one of something that you rely on. Oh.
Absolutely, and it's something that happens to me when I'm really stressed out, is my voice goes. It happened to me when I was auditioning for colleges. I remember taking the train up to New York with my parents, and I was sick. I was so sick, and I had no voice for any of the auditions. Somehow I still got into college. Wow. But that is just a thing that I now know happens to me, and I have to be really careful.
I feel like that's when you just get into mime work. That's time to bring that out.
Yes, there's lots of money in mime work these days.
Oh, I wanted to ask too, Stephanie, from playing Meredith, what was your favorite part of that? Was it? I loved all the clips of watching you just in the garb from the '60s. The I don't know, was it a wig they put on you? Like just all the hairstyles and the dresses. Like, what was your favorite part of playing Meredith?
Oh, well, I loved every part of it. That is my real hair.
Wow.
That is not a wig. Yes, they would just tease it and use so much hairspray to get it that high.
Was it a long process to get it that way?
So painful to brush my hair at the end of the day. But no, I really did. I think my favorite part was getting to act with everyone on the show. Everyone is just so talented and so welcoming, and really that was my first television job. So I had only done a handful of commercials before that.
Wow.
So I really learned how to be on a set and how to act on a TV show from the best of the best.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Very cool. And was it a long process to get your hair that way?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. It took forever. They would start. So I would get there really early, and my hairstylist would pin it up in, like, curling rollers.
Yeah.
And then I would go get which would take forever because I have a lot of hair. And then I would go get my makeup done. And then I would go back to getting my hair done, and she would take out the rollers, tease it all out. And every episode, my hair was so different.
Yes,
so she'd have to come. Yeah, she'd have to come up with some magical hairdo for Meredith.
I feel like I would need a day off. Like at that point, after all that, I would be like, I'm coming back tomorrow to read these lines. It's a lot of work. It's already a full day of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. A lot of work.
Wow.
And She always came up with something great, though. I mean, Meredith had some fabulous hair.
And I wanted to ask you too, Stephanie, what is Deep Murder about?
Oh, Deep Murder is a horror comedy that is based in the world of a softcore porn.
Wow.
I mean, if that doesn't make you want to watch it, I don't know what
I'm
will.
Googling it already.
Yeah, no, nothing else. It's the best pitch I've ever heard. And who is Dr. Bunny? And that's who you play.
Yeah, I play Dr. Bunny. And so the movie is set, it all takes place at this house, this big mansion. And all the actors play a stereotypical softcore porn character. So I play Dr. Bunny, the weather scientist.
Ooh.
And there's also, you know, the jock, the babysitter, the MILF, the hardworking husband who's never around. Like, we all play these characters. So I come to the house to warn everybody about this storm that's coming, even though it's 70 and beautiful outside. And then someone gets murdered.
Ooh. And
I'm not going to say anything else because you guys have to watch it.
I just love all these cliches, and then you're like the weather scientist. I don't think I've ever seen a porno with a weather scientist.
And Slim's watched a lot of porno.
Yeah.
It's like Clue. It's like Clue, but
That's what I was
sexier.
gonna say.
Yeah.
There's Dr. Bunny in the parlor
There's
with
always
the
some kind of
barometer.
There's always some kind of scientist or doctor or something. So that's what I say.
Is there a pizza delivery driver?
Oh, you know it.
Oh.
But it's so well done. It is so hilarious.
Jerry
will.
O'Connell's in that, correct?
He is, yeah, and he is wonderful and funny. Everyone in the cast is great.
That's what I was gonna ask. He seems like a great guy. I used to watch a really corny show in the '80s with him called My Secret Identity. I didn't know if you were familiar with that.
I don't know that show.
Oh, I don't know if he or his dad was a scientist and he had like 2 cans of hairspray that would make him fly. That's all I remember.
That sounds great.
It was great. It was on like whatever UPN is now, whatever Channel 9 is. It was on the original. It's one of those. Yeah, it was good. It was good.
They should make a new show with him and Meredith with her hair.
Yes.
They could do a show.
Oh, so that's great. Stephanie, I wanted to ask too, what upcoming projects do you have, if you can tell us about?
I don't have any acting projects in the works right now, but I am working on a lot of writing in this time. I have lots of time to write now because nothing else is going on.
Yeah.
But I'm working on a comedy feature with my writing partner, and I'm working on a bunch of short form stuff that will hopefully see the light of day when this is all done. So, yeah, I mean, it's one of those weird times where I don't know exactly what's next, but I'm staying as creative as I possibly can.
Good. Yeah, that's what I feel like. I hate having to work because I'm one of the essentials, but it's also nice to get out. It's also nice to get out. I think if I were like hold up and couldn't and just going out for essentials, I think I would kind of start losing it.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird time. I take lots of long walks around my neighborhood, and I make these silly videos on TikTok.
I saw the dancing. How did you start those? Was it out of the quarantining that you started the TikToks?
Actually, no. I started that a few months ago. There are all these beautiful murals around Los Angeles, and I was like, what if I went to go find them and then just did I was just looking for something creative to do.
Yeah.
And I was like, what if I just did silly dances in front of them? So every week I'd go to a different part of town and find these amazing murals that, I mean, I've lived here for a long time and I didn't know a lot of them existed.
Wow.
So it's been fun for me too.
That's cool.
if it makes one person smile, I'm happy.
Yeah. I haven't. I feel like I just got on Instagram. I don't need another social media thing. How is TikTok?
I don't really explore TikTok that much. I mainly just use it because you can add music to your videos that way.
Yeah.
But the few times I have explored, like, different, I mean, it's wild. There's some crazy stuff, but it's all pretty funny.
Yeah.
You should check it out.
I heard it's good for collabing, too. Like, I heard you could go live with anybody else if they want to. So I did hear it's got some cool features.
So it has
fun.
it has like a live editing feature, like a editing feature built into it?
You can, I don't think you can edit through it. Like, I edit on iMovie. But you can then add, they have a whole library of songs, so you can add music to your videos legally.
That's cool.
That is cool. Yeah, because if you just added a song off of it and posted it on Instagram, they'll take it down because you don't have the rights to it. But on TikTok, you can add music, and they have, I mean, I've never had an issue finding a song.
Very cool. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had some issues on things on Facebook, on YouTube. Yeah, even well, we haven't recently because we're not monetized anymore because we don't have a million followers. But I remember back in the day, just reading song lyrics, you would get a flag for. This isn't your.
Yeah, you got to be really careful.
Yeah. Totally.
Reading like news articles, I think.
Yes,
too.
News articles are playing like a clip of a news cast. Yeah. They're crazy.
Stephanie, I'm curious. Earlier you brought up that you went to a performing arts high school. I'd never heard of that before, and it sounds like a Hogwarts or something. Like what is it? What is it? Like, do you get to leave your old high school and experience the rest of high school in this performing arts school? Like,
yeah. So my high school was, you auditioned for a specific, we called them primes. So there was dance, acting, singing, culinary, writing, cosmetology. It was like kind of like a bunch of different things within the arts.
It's very cool.
And it was a normal high school. You know, we had all the normal classes, but during the day we would have acting classes as well as, you know, social studies and science.
Extracurricular.
And
yes.
It was part of our daily schedule. So we'd have, you know, an hour and a half of acting class and dance class and singing class, and it was, have you ever seen the movie Fame?
No.
I remember the series from when I was a kid. I think one of my parents watched it.
Yeah, so that took place at a performing arts high school. So yeah, it's kind of like there would be people acting and singing and dancing in the hallways, and people painting outside, you know, in the visual department. And it was a wonderfully creative environment. Anything went. You could dress any way you want. And they really made it seem like a life in the arts was possible at that school.
And
the teachers were great. And
does every city or every town have one of those, or is that just certain
I don't think so. No, Baltimore was pretty lucky. We had one. There were two. There was one in the county, in Baltimore County. That's the one I went to. And then there was a really famous one, Baltimore School for the Arts, in the city. And a bunch of famous people went to that one. So, yeah, we were really lucky. I mean, the city that I lived in before we moved to Baltimore did not have one.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think it's rare.
Yeah, that's what I kind of thought when you mentioned that. And also, when you said you placed, 21st when you auditioned?
21st on the wait list,
I was gonna say, like, I feel like you said as being young, that was kind of hard to take. But in my mind, I'm like, that's a high number. You did amazing as far, because there's all those people under you that didn't get it or were under you.
I mean, I don't know how I could have been 21 out of 21 though. I don't know. I could have been the last one on the wait list. I never knew that.
I figured at least out of 100. Yeah, when you put it that way, I don't know.
But yeah, I feel so lucky that the 20 people on the list above me either didn't go or there was still a spot for me.
You took them out. You took them out, Steph.
Yeah, I guess so.
I want to ask too, in this crazy world we live in, what have you hoarded the most, Stephanie?
Snacks. I mean, I can't get enough chips,
Yes.
Chex Mix, Pringles. I mean, I never eat this stuff.
Yes. That's why I said it's the best excuse to
but
eat
I can't
this
stop
stuff.
snacking.
Yeah. I bought a bag of jalapeno Cheetos and a pack of mega stuffed Oreos last week. It is delicious.
Nice.
So good. So good.
Yeah, I usually try to avoid those aisles, but I can't stay away. I can't get enough of it.
Right? You shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to. It's like comfort food. You gotta cope somehow.
It is.
Oh. Also, you mentioning what did you say again? The after Meredith that you filmed.
Yeah. So a couple years ago, I was not working on anything. I was barely auditioning, and I was just kind of sitting on my couch one day, and I was really bored, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna make something. And I had this idea for a short film, and I wrote it in 2 days, and then I shot it 6 months later, and it was hard.
Yeah.
It was really hard, but I'm so glad I did it. I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch it, but it's based on my life right after I finished working on Mad Men, and we shot it in 3 days, and I knew nothing about producing or editing or sound production or anything. I learned it all along the way.
Wow.
And I think it turned out really well.
Very cool.
Considering it was the first time I'd done that.
Yeah, just saying all that, it feels like you did it. You did it in a certain amount of time. That was probably like a deadline. Like that's a lot to learn. What is the most important thing you learned from doing it?
The most important thing I learned was don't give up, even when you want to. Like, finish it. And have a producing partner or someone else, like, to help along the way. I had my dear friend, Kimberly. She co-produced it with me, and she was wonderful. I mean, I don't know if I would have been able to finish it without her. Just having someone else to
that driven
confide in, talk to, bounce ideas off of, like it's a lot of work making anything. So having a partner is key.
Cool. That is key. I've talked to so many podcasters over the years that like have stopped their show because of co-hosts not pulling weight or doing certain things, and I just feel like we have the perfect balance.
Yeah.
I mean, what's this? Our sixth season?
6 year, yeah.
Maybe
maybe 7 years of doing it,
something
and then
like
this is like our
that.
sixth
And
season.
every time I've heard somebody complain about their co-host, it's like I feel like we've always had the perfect balance.
That's so nice. You're lucky.
Yeah. Absolutely. Stephanie, thank you so much for talking to us. It's been a blast.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me. This was fun.
Very fun. Where can everybody find you?
So my Instagram handle is at Stephanie Drake 1. And I'm on Twitter as well, just at Stephanie Drake. And you can find the link to my short film on there and all my crazy, funny TikToks that I've been making. And yeah, I hope everyone follows me.
Definitely. And who is Stephanie Drake 2? I don't want to follow her, but I want to know who she is.
I don't know.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. It's been a blast.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
Stay safe.
Yes, you too. Stay safer.
Thanks. Okay.
Bye.